I'm Roisin Flood. This is
Niall O Neill.
Niall O Neill. We are the instigators of this project. To give a little history, it began last year in 2019 with a symposium in Tomnafinnoge Forest, which is the last remnants of one of the ancient Irish oak forests. So the inspiration for the project came from a walk which Niall took through the wood after all of the storms of that season, and seeing all the fallen timber and the possibilities within for sculpture.
My name is David Kinane. I'm from Dublin. I'm a sculptor, and I take a particular interest in the Bronze Age as well. So I've worked many years on the Bronze Age project. So this year was an opportunity to kind of bring together the Bronze Age project and the Woodland project. And I thought, since I had been researching these bronze tools that I have here over the last couple of years, I would actually make a working set of tools and put them to work on some fresh birch, wet birch, on account of the fact that we don't know really what the capabilities are of these bronze socketed tools and this socketed axe until you put it to the test to see what kind of work it can do, you know. So this one is a socketed axe that I researched at the National Museum, and I have 4 tools here. In fact, I have 2 of these gouges of different sizes, socketed gouges, which I put this one to work on this piece here. That was totally done with that chisel. I have a drill, a prehistoric drill that I more or less have invented or rediscovered. I leave it to other people to be the judge whether this is a new discovery in archaeology. But I discovered these tools, which are replicated in the museum. They don't resemble any other kind of tool except drill bits. And so these work like this, and the drill drills in alternate directions, back and forth. And I have a spare axe here. So that is basically my toolkit that I put together with these fresh birch logs. And the first one was fairly crude because I used to use the axe. I didn't refine it any further. I just wanted to see what could it do and would it hold up to the strain, and it held up very well. It's working perfectly well still, and it has cut this spiral shape that I've repeated again here in a different way. This piece here is based on an actual chimney that stands in a place called Ballycorus on the Wicklow Dublin border near Cultue Night in Enniskerry.
Hello, my name is James Hayes. I'm a sculptor based in Bray, County Wicklow, and I participated in last year's Aos Dara 2019 Symposium in the Woodlands, and I also participated this year in the Aos Dara Uish Combined Symposium 2020. For last year, we were asked to create artwork on site in the woodlands, and no power tools, just hand tools. So these are the pieces that I created last year, carved on site along with the other artists who were there. So I used mostly an axe and then some chisels to carve out the basic forms. And these are based on kind of Bronze Age Irish wooden sculptures that have been found in the bog. So they're more kind of primitive in form or simplistic in form, but they also kind of reflect Greek caryatid sculptures where they're holding up a pillar above them. So there's a male figure and a female figure, and I had placed them in the woods as kind of a gateway entrance to a beautiful green glade that I was working in. And since then they've been at home in the studio drying out, so these beautiful dramatic cracks have formed since then, they started out as kind of beautiful logs in their own right, and they've changed colour during the year.
All this work here in front of me is about nature in the wildest sense. Right? It's also a man and his relation to the earth. I think I analysed my own years ago. I brought it down to two things: the unconscious and history and the unconscious mind. I really felt that that's what it was all about. You know, and all these, in a sense, they're metaphorical. And in another sense, they use jewel-like forms and everything else. But yeah, I mean, when you see them now, they're a bit like old friends, you know.
Okay, hello, I'm Conleth Gent. I'm a sculptor and I live and work in Glencullen, County Dublin. It's really the far side of the Wicklow way from here, really, I suppose. But I was invited last year to take part in the Tomnafinnoge Woods Sculpture Symposium, and I really enjoyed it, worked very hard on it, even though I had a hand injury at the time and it wasn't the easiest thing to do. But this year, because of the circumstances, things are very different, and I came down during the summer to have a look in the wood to see what I might do for this year's exhibition. And while I was walking in the wood, I was looking for pieces of wood, and I found plenty along the way, pieces, different shapes that appealed to me, and thought, I can use this all right. But one thing that struck me after a while was every time I found a piece of wood, it was in a place where there was light, where the trees either broke or fell completely, and that's where the wood was that I could work with. And the inspiration for the work this year was the actual light, the space made by the falling of the branch or tree. And it was a very strong feeling I had to do that, to work from there. So I was inclined to want to capture light and the feeling of light and regeneration in the woodland. And so I took the wood back to my workshop, and the two pieces I made into three pieces, and I created the three crucible forms from those pieces. I had another piece that I did a few years ago, this one here, and I just thought, when I was working on these, I saw the effect of the gold and the light in the piece, and I thought this piece would lend itself to it. So I added this piece, even though this one doesn't belong to Tomnafinnoge, these ones do. And they are an integral part, for me, they're very much a part of the woodland there. They came from the woodland and they represent the regeneration of the woodland, the way the trees start to grow again when something dies or falls down, and the process of life goes on in the woodland.
I'm Lorraine Whelan. I was really happy to have my proposal chosen for the Aos Dara Combined Symposium this year. I proposed doing a number of drawings using graphite and eraser, which I feel is a sculptural way of drawing, because you're starting out with something and then you're kind of carving into it with an eraser. And then I went down to Tomnafinnoge and I thought, this place is so luscious and green that I just thought that graphite would be too grey. So I thought there was other forms of materials that I wanted to use as well. So when I got back to my studio, I did some pieces with graphite, and I had some green graphite, so I did get to tint the trees. But I also used watercolor pencil, bright colors, and some sketches, and I used oil stick and acrylic paint. And then I realized with a specific image that I liked of the saplings, that it wasn't working, so I wanted to do collage work, and I painted a number of pages in different colored greens and then tore them to create the collage, and so I had a décolleté edge, and I was really happy with that. And I tried it for a number of different images, and I like the saplings the best.
I feel very honoured to be part of this symposium, and I want to bring the spirit of the woods, people and birds who have lived, worked and played there over the centuries into my work. I hope I have managed to convey that feeling. There is something special about trees and how they make you feel when under their canopy, something very reassuring.